and welcome to Facebook Live from HarperCollins. I am absolutely delighted to have the brilliant and wonderful Sophy Henn here, author and illustrator, and the creator of the brand new young fiction series Bad Nana, which features Bad Nana and 7-year-old Jeannie. And Sophy, please will you tell us a little bit more about Bad Nana?
Well, Bad Nana, older not wiser, is the first of the Bad Nana stories, and it's all told through the voice and seen through the eyes of Bad Nana's 7 3/4-year-old. Very important, those 3/4-year-old daughter, granddaughter, I should say, Jeannie, and it follows Bad Nana through her mischief making and mayhem, but she, there's a moral code to Bad Nana's mischief. She's not bad, wicked. She's just quite naughty. She's well, and she's not going to put up with anyone's nonsense. No, she's going to take those bossy boots down a peg or two, and she's not having any bullies. She's not putting up with that. No, quite right. And Jeannie loves her, adores her. Why wouldn't you? But she is also, Bad Nana is a source of quite a lot of embarrassment. Yes, I mean, obviously. In a good way? I think in a good way, the sort of embarrassment that you sort of cringe whilst giggling. Yeah. It's that kind of embarrassment. So, and Bad Nana would never, ever set out to deliberately embarrass Jeannie or even her little brother Jack, much to Jeannie's dismay. Yeah. But yeah, she wouldn't do that. But I think, when you're going to put yourself out there, taking down these bossy boots and bullies, there's going to be a few embarrassing moments here and there. It's just going to happen. Exactly. And so this is the first time you've written for an older age group. Obviously, you've done lots of picture books before. So tell me about how Bad Nana came about and writing for older children. Well, I suppose there's similarities in the sense that I started with a character, and the character of Bad Nana, and then you sort of build the world around her. So Jeannie, comes from that, and then you use Jeannie's voice to talk about Bad Nana. So it all kind of grows out of the central character of Bad Nana, and you build the world around her. And then once you've done that, when you've created that character, as with the picture books, the character almost tells you the story. Yeah. There's things you can and can't do, and things that they would and wouldn't do. So there's a similarity there. But obviously there's a lot more words in this book. There's quite a few more words for me. So it was much more about focusing on getting that really strong narrative structure and then building around that. And then after that was all tied down, creating the images to go with that. Because in some of the pages, the images and the narrative work very much intertwined, rely on one another, whereas in other pages, the images reflect the narrative more. So it's a bit more varied, I suppose, than a picture book. And I think this is why I think part of the reason this book is so brilliant is because of how integrated the text and the illustrations are. And the illustrations are very bright pink. Yes. Get your sunglasses on, because they are seriously out there. So we used the neon, and I think it's nice. It looks nice and cheery. Hopefully it's leaping out at you from the shelves, or even your to-read pile as well. But I think the neon adds a nice anarchic punch as well, because I think Bad Nana's got that going. But that interaction with the text and the illustration, that sort of is perfect for sort of emerging readers or readers who haven't sort of tackled a chapter book before. Absolutely. Well, already it's been really lovely to see on Twitter and things like that that Bad Nana's been people's first ever chapter book. So that's completely thrilling. I'm delighted. You never forget your first chapter book. I really have. Well, I'm not going to forget this one. Absolutely. Well, it's it's quite empowering, and I think with all my books, for one way or another, I want them to be empowering. But I'm delighted that this is empowering through the fact that it's bridging that gap between picture books and young fiction. Absolutely. And Bad Nana started life quite a long time ago. Quite a long time ago. Yeah. So she's been around for a while, but this is obviously the first time she's been in a book. Yes. But tell me a bit about where she started. Well, Bad Nana originated in a college project. I did an MA as a very mature student, obviously.
Not that mature.
No, not particularly mature at all, really. But no, as a mature student, and I had in mind a completely different project that I wanted to do as my final piece. And during this time I went comic shopping with my daughter, who at the time, or remembrance of comic shopping with my daughter, who was, I think, a bit older than Jeannie.
Yeah.
But we looked at the wall of comics and could not find anything in there that reflected her and her interests. And you know, I didn't think she was particularly unusual. You know, she liked taekwondo, arts, mucking about. You know, quite usual.
Badges? Did you get badges?
Badge, of course. Badge hat. You see, she had a hat covered in badges. The badge hat. But yes, so nothing really reflected what she was interested in. They seemed to be more focused on, you know, what you should wear, what you should buy. Even some had even diet tips in them, which I was a bit uncomfortable with, and boys and things like that, which is fine. You know, obviously there's a market for that, but it didn't reflect her. So we came away with the Beano, and while the Beano is obviously brilliant, I felt a bit miffed that my daughter felt like she wasn't. Not that she wasn't catered for, but that she wasn't reflected, that she wasn't the norm, or she was somehow different. That's more, that she was somehow different because she couldn't see her interests reflected. So my MA project, that's a very long way of telling you, that my MA project then became an alternative comic for sort of late Key Stage 1, early Key Stage 2 girls, and it's not a particularly girly comic, but anyway, I've brought one with me. So so this is what I created, which is, there you go, you can have one to look at there, which is Pickle. And the main character you will see is called Piccalilli. She doesn't look too dissimilar to Jeannie. And within the pages you will find the very first imaginings.
Very first Bad Nana. Look at her.
See that.
And she hasn't really changed at all, has she?
She really hasn't changed, no. She's pretty consistent. And the idea behind putting Bad Nana in this comic was to show young girls, I think at that age you can get quite self-conscious, and it was to show them an older woman. So, you know, we have a lot of preconceptions about how women should be when they're old and stuff like that. So it was smashing those, but also smashing those preconceptions. Well, hopefully. Mainly I wanted it to be funny. Can I just say that? Mainly. The bottom line is I wanted it to be funny. But also just to see somebody older out there having fun, not really caring as much about what people think. And I thought that might be quite liberating and quite empowering. And that you could have this character who was sort of outside of the, you know, the norm, the popular, the whatever. And actually when you're younger, that can feel quite stressful. That can make you quite anxious. And we've all been there at school and felt those feelings, but actually to see someone who's older and it's actually really liberating for them, and they're just having fun. And also having a female character that's just silly as well, and that you don't see that as much. So that was the idea behind it. That's how Bad Nana originated.
Well, I think you've certainly achieved all of those things.
I hope so. And mainly a funny book. You know, that's what you ultimately want to do. But you know, I don't want it to be sort of shouting things at people, other than having fun while they're reading it.
They definitely do. I think you're going to draw a Bad Nana. I'm going to draw a Bad Nana. I'm going to join in.
I'm going to try. Yes, well, I think you should. I've bought you some of the pencils I used to draw.
These are the original pencils?
The original, yeah.
So
you could put them on an auction site later, probably. No, because they're quite soft. I use quite soft pencils when I'm drawing.
You're going to have to take me through step by step.
Okay, step by step. So we are going to start with, have a guess, Alice, what do you think we're going to start with on Bad Nana? What's her most obvious feature?
I think they are her glasses.
They are her glasses, and I'd be lying if I said they weren't inspired by Iris. Is it Apfel? Is that how you pronounce it?
Oh, no, I don't know. I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, well, you need to look at anyway. So her fabulous big glasses. Now, yes, you need to get these circles right, and I'm quite nervous about drawing these because there's nowhere to really go if you get a circle wrong. Okay, so it just doesn't look like a circle.
I'm just doing two circles.
So one circle, and then another. Sorry, I'm standing right in front of this, but I will move out the way.
So they're close together,
They
circles,
are
but
close
they're
together.
not touching.
Well, it's not the end of the world if they are. Mine might be in a minute once I've... Look, I told you, I've got one slightly smaller than the other. So I'm just going to prove here as well that it doesn't matter how many times you draw something, it can always look a bit...
Start again?
No. If I can't,
I've only got one piece of paper. Just hang on.
No, it's
fine.
I have a nice, loose, sketchy style.
Yeah, me too.
And then we're going to draw the bridge of her glasses, is that down there? Now we're going to draw Bad Nana's chin. She's got quite a pointy chin.
Yeah.
So we'll draw that coming out of her glasses. She's looking over at the book, right next to me. So we're going to draw her little pointy chin there. Oh, look, have I got a red? I'll use the red in here.
Okay.
Okay.
Looks quite frog-like at the moment, but presumably that's going to change.
Oh, she does, doesn't she? Yes. Well, yes, I'm hoping it will. Now we're going to draw the top of Bad Nana's head. So she's got quite a high forehead.
Yeah.
So we'll draw that up here. Like that. Oh, look, that's very wibbly, isn't it? But don't worry too much about that line because we're going to cover it up with her hair. So her hair is just drawing lots of little zigzags almost, really close together. Oh, sorry, I'm standing in front of it again. It's quite strange. When you draw at the side like this, it often looks completely different when you stand in front of it. Like one of those illusion paintings. There we go.
I have to say that my picture is looking quite far from Bad Nana at the moment. I'm going for a more of a skinhead look at the moment.
Ah, but once you've done that, because then you can just draw a nice, smooth it all out. Smooth it all out. Put the L net on because I'm quite sure other hairsprays. Oh, and then we've got her bun on the top, so that's just a nice big bun shape, and then you can just do the hair zigzag around like that. There we go. Ta-da! I like to think Bad Nana might have been like a showgirl or a dancer, which is why she still wears her hair
in a bun
pulled up like that, among other things, possibly a spy.
She would have had a very varied career.
I think she would have done many, many things. Yeah. Now we're going to add her earrings.
Okay.
I can see it's looking very good, Alice. So they come out the side of her glasses like this, and they are just lots of like loops, like kind of the petals of a flower, like that.
It's a little bit of sparkle, isn't it?
It's a little bit of twinkle.
Twinkle.
Yeah.
Not sparkle at all.
Yeah. There we go. And then we're going to draw her eyes. Now maybe she's looking to the side. She's wondering what's going on over there, if anyone's up to no good, if anyone's being bossy. There we go. Her eyes. And of course, where you have eyes, very importantly.
Sophie, I think this is looking pretty good, actually.
Yeah. Well, I know where I'll be coming to help me illustrate book 2. And then some eyebrows. So she's got those lovely, again, showgirl eyebrows.
Yeah.
So I think they're quite thin with a little bubble there.
Okay, I might be getting a little unstuck now.
No, just don't question it. Don't question it too much.
Hang on.
Just go with it. Because that's the thing, drawing is just a series of shapes. It's getting the right shapes in the right order. Mm-hmm. That's how I do it.
Okay. So what's next?
There we go. Now, nose.
Nose.
Just a little dash underneath the bridge of her glasses.
Barely a nose, really.
Barely.
Okay.
Just the slightest indication. And then we're going to do her lips. Now, I'm just wondering if this works. Yes, I'm going to give her some red lipstick. Yeah. But we're just going to do sort of like the top of a heart, like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a little love heart, really. And colour that in. Mm-hmm. But she looks like she's sucking on a particularly sour lemon sherbet there. So we're going to give her a little smile as well, so we know that she's...
Oh, hang on, so it's a full heart.
Yes, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, no,
I did change my mind mid-shape there.
Right,
there we go.
Yeah.
Now...
And then a little smile.
At this point, as you can see, she's looking very glamorous.
Yeah.
She's looking like Bad Nana, but this was the challenge when I was drawing her, was how to make her look like an older woman, but without, doing all the obvious things like wrinkles and stuff like that, because I wanted to keep it quite clean and graphic. And as you notice, if I did her body like that, she doesn't, well, she looks quite peculiar for one thing, but she doesn't look very old. But if you take her shoulders up, and if you put her shoulders coming out up here, that's what sort of makes,
isn't it?
Yeah, that's what sort of makes her look like an older woman. And then you can use the side of your pencil, which is softer than the tip. Use the side to shade in her.
I think I might have spoken too soon.
Body. No, I think. Come on, no, come on, believe.
All right.
Maybe you've accidentally created a new character for Bad Nana, one of her friends. There we go. Quite a lot of shading going on there. There we are.
Amazing.
Oh, look, I've given her quite big shoulders there. Sorry.
Not as big as much.
Cut those down there like that.
She looks like she might have difficulty moving, my one.
So I mean about drawing from the side. Gives you a funny perspective. There we go. So there's Bad Nana.
Amazing. Thank you. Would you like to see mine?
Absolutely, of course.
Ta-da.
She's brilliant. I think everybody deserves to see that. That's
You're very
awesome.
kind, Sophie.
No, I think she's
Too
fabulous.
kind.
Fabulous.
I'll sign it for you.
I'm going to hold you to that. I'll be putting that on an auction site later.
So, did you have any particular inspiration for Bad Nana? Were your grandparents very naughty?
Very naughty. Well, actually, I didn't know my grandparents very well, unfortunately. Yes, I didn't. But she's not based on anyone in particular. She's more the Nana I quite like to be, I think. She's my retirement plan. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think, I think it's good. I think we could all be a bit more Bad Nana and a bit more, a bit less worried about what other people think of us and, standing up, righting wrongs in a hilarious fashion.
Yeah. So obviously, apart from sort of righting wrongs and, embracing change, she's also got a massive penchant for lemon sherbet.
She loves a lemon sherbet.
Big glasses.
Fabulous.
And an amazing handbag, which seems to house a really amazing array of objects.
Yeah,
For example, eclectic. For example, whoopee cushion.
Whoopee cushion. Who doesn't have a...
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
One of those long rubber ducks.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
Remind me what else is in there.
There's a rain hood.
Yeah.
And some super pointy tacks.
Yeah.
A lipstick, obviously. Some fluff, I think. I could paste it quite largely on my handbag.
Okay, so what is the weirdest thing in your handbag?
There are many things, and I have to say I have got a rain hood. I've been gifted a rain hood. I don't know what that says, but yes, and a whoopee cushion are in my handbag
right
at
now.
This exact moment, along with a sparkly pink turban. And
I really should ask you to put that on.
I don't think I'm allowed to leave the carpeted area. Maybe later.
But nothing else.
Strange things. I mean, there's always fluff, isn't there? There's always like an unusual sweet that you weren't expecting.
Slightly sticky, bit furry.
I know, and you think, but then sort of hour 3 of a train journey, you're like, that's
where is that?
Where is that
fluffy sweet
treasure? Absolutely, fluff, lovely. It's good. I think yes. So her handbag's probably actually based on mine a bit.
That's
but
good.
You
never know when you're going to need any of those things, so
it's always best to be prepared. Absolutely.
So this is just the beginning of Bad Nana, isn't it?
I hope so.
And you are working on book 2, aren't you, Sophie?
Yes, I really am. Yes, no, I actually really am.
But tell me a little bit about what she's going to be doing next.
What
she and Jeannie are going to be doing.
Absolutely. It's Town Fair Day, which comes only once a year. And I think wherever we live, there's that sort of annual sort of fete or fair or the school fair or something like that. And there's a lot of a lot of excitement that can build around that. I remember feeling that when I was little, and then
huge event.
Exactly, it's where you socialise with your friends. It's like this day where almost like normal rules don't apply, and as wonderful as that is. There tends to be a lot of competitions, and wherever there are competitions, you can have that sort of that competitive spirit can spiral out of control.
Take hold. It can
take hold. So Mrs. Farquhar, Bad Nana's nemesis, is obviously very involved in the local fair, and there'll be a clash of handbags, I predict. I think there's going to be a little bit of a showdown happening. But I'm loving it. I do. I really enjoy writing in Jeannie's voice.
Yeah.
Which is,
well, you've captured it so brilliantly. It is like completely, you've captured the voice and the mind of a 7-year-old.
Surprising how easily I could, but no,
you could access that quite easily, could you?
Worryingly so. But I think more than that, I just was remembering my daughter and her friends all chatting, and also when you drive them from school around home from school and stuff,
you can
and
really
just hear that chat. Yes, I mean it's a long time ago for me now, but I do remember hearing that chat and just delighting in it. And they're sort of almost at that age, you're kind of discovering language as a bit more than just communication. It becomes something a bit more playful. I'm having a lovely time writing book 2. Really,
and that is coming in March 2019.
Yes, it
is.
A
little bit of a wait. But, it will be very, very well worth it.
I hope so, And I'm hoping to, take Bad Nana on the road in between time and do events and things like that. And,
look out. Look out for the events. Sophie's events are brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
But thank you so much for joining us
and
talking
pleasure.
about Bad Nana. We absolutely love her. She is destined for big things. And thank you very much, Sophie.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
It's okay.